You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Friday the 24th of May and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I think this is the 30th one I've done. If I hadn't had a couple of days off it would be the 32nd, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, I thought what I'd do is give you a little bit of an update on where I am with all my current projects. Because why not? It's a way of filling 6 minutes. Project number one is called The English Hikikomori. You will have heard me talking about it. It's a story about a young man who is quite bad mental health, has had some horrible personal circumstances, is working up to suicide. It's finished. It's the one project that's completely finished. I'm very pleased with it, although it is quite dark and bleak in places. Quite a few people have read it. I've got some lovely feedback. And it's the book that I'm in the process of trying to sell. So what I need to do with that, hopefully by the time I get home, or not long after I get home, there will be a paperback copy that I just want to read it. I haven't read it for ages. Read it and write out my synopsis. And I also need to write a cover letter. So I have set myself a target of the end of this month for writing the synopsis, and then I've got a couple of weeks work into the beginning of June, and then I've got some time off at the beginning of June, and that's kind of the middle of June is the deadline for writing my cover letter and actually submitting it. So that's project one, The English Hikikomori. Project two, Empress of the Trees. If you have been watching me at all on Twitch, you will see that I am currently editing that. I've written completely 32 chapters. I'm currently, I'm editing the chapters I've already written, partially to remind me what they were like, and secondly because I want to move forward to a write and edit model. So I'm editing the 32 chapters I've written. Once they are and the deadline I've set myself for that is the end of June. It's very likely I will make that. Almost certainly, I would say, because I've only got about about 6 left to do. I did a bit of work on chapter 27 today. If you're watching this on the stream, it's the work I've just done. So once I've finished editing those 32 chapters, I've written a little bit of chapter 33. I'll keep writing, finish chapter 33, and it's going to end up being about 38, 39 chapters long. So by the end of June, I will have started writing new material for Empress of the Trees. It is my biggest and most ambitious project. Everything else has been around about the 120,000 words mark, which is about 300 printed pages. This one is twice that. It's going to be about 600 pages, but it is a very long, convoluted story. It's got some characters that I'm really proud of. Reading through some of the bits I've written, I'd forgotten some of the stuff I've done that I'm really pleased with. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Then the other thing on it, the next project is called Still Life. It's my story about an immortal artist who traps people in paintings. This is 99% finished. I have a final draft to do, which is just basically incorporating some small bits of feedback from a couple of my beta readers. The most significant one is that my characters at the beginning basically got married in secret, which apparently used to happen quite a lot in the First World War, in case because the widow would have got a widow's pension if something happened to the guy in France, to the husband in France. So a couple of minor things, but then that's basically finished too. I have a project called 6040. If you watched my stream in the last couple of days, you will see that I actually edited a story. I wrote it in November last year. It was only like 5,000 words short story. It was a Doctor Who The Bill crossover. I edited that on the stream yesterday or the day before, very recently anyway, and I published it to my website yesterday or whenever it was as well. I have another idea for a story within that range, and I need to spend a couple of days each month doing this, I believe. I have an idea for another story which is a crossover of the series 1, the Christopher Eccleston Doctor Who story, Father's Day. It's a crossover with that story and The Bill, so I need to watch that episode. But basically it's going to be about the police cleaning up after the death of Rose's father, and it's going to be called Next of Kin. I am going to try and write that by the end of June, just the one story. My Twitch streaming continues. I've got a nice number of followers, which is growing steadily, not quickly, but steadily, which is absolutely lovely. So please feel free to join me on that. If you look at the Linktree link at the end of this podcast, it tells you where to find that. The podcast, obviously, this is the Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It seems to be going quite well. I do have an emergency episode in the bag in case I land from Vancouver tomorrow too tired to do a podcast. And then future projects that I need to work on. So I have a 2-story book outline for my sequels to Still Life. This is continuing the story of my characters Saywood and Molly and a lot of others, Isabel. It's a very female-centric book. That wasn't deliberate when I started it, but there were a lot of female characters in that. It's mainly female characters, actually. Very, very pleased with it as a book. And so, as I say, yes, Still Life will be followed up by Self-Portrait, and the final one is called Blank Canvas. It's all one story. I didn't plan it as a trilogy, but I loved writing the characters so much that I had to play in that world again. And so I actually inserted a character into the first book who was key in the second book, and it would make no sense if they didn't appear in the first book. But because I decided I was going to write more before I'd finished writing the first book, I was able to insert the character, and it makes a lot of sense that they're there. And I've already had a couple of people question me, who is this person? And beautifully, they've all got theories and they're all wrong, but I can see why they have got the theories, and I'm so pleased because it's a wonderful red herring. Anyway, so that's my current projects. Thank you for listening. I know I did say ages ago, I'm going to get my submission done soon. Real life doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but we are making progress with everything, and I feel quite positive about it. Thank you very much for listening. I will talk to you at some point tomorrow. Bye bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my Linktree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.